I'm the Legendary PokéMaster, and today we are counting down the top 5 Pokemon that are kind of unnecessary in their evolution lines. The Pokemon on this list are not necessarily bad Pokemon, they're just Pokemon that don't really serve much purpose in their evolution lines due to other Pokemon that are in the evolution line. That phrasing sounds weird like usual. But anyway, without further ado, let's start. Number 5, Porygon Z. Yeah, you know how I said that thing about how these aren't bad Pokemon? Well, that's where this applies, because this is my favorite Pokemon, as I have said before. It only has one weakness, learns a bunch of moves, gets stab a lot, and gets OP when you use Return on High Friendship, and has a Silk Scarf, and it's a digital flamingo. But in order to get it, you need to get through Porygon 2, which basically has the same stats. I mean, look, the two are only 20 apart in terms of base stat totals, and they both have something equal going for it. That is, in that Porygon 2 is better if you want high defenses, while Porygon Z's stats make it more of a speedy option for special attacks. Both basically have the same move pool, and evolve when holding an item when traded. That said, Porygon 2 and Porygon Z would probably make a better split evolution for Porygon than a linear one. Number 4, Scizor. This is another one where I thought that the Pokemon is kinda cool. Scizor is like a mini shiny Genesect without the interchangeable plates. Oh wait, that's Arceus. Scizor is like a mini shiny Genesect without the interchangeable, disc. Oh yeah, that's what it was. However, when we look at its pre-evolution, Scyther, we see that it's similar, not in just the name. In fact, they're basically the same thing in terms of stats. They both have a base stat total of 500, with Scizor having a higher attack and defense, albeit lower speed than Scyther. However, both of these differences aren't really substantial, except for maybe speed. However, considering the increased amount of resistances that Scizor has, I'll only put it at number 4. Number 3, Kakuna or Metapod. The reason I included two Pokemon here of no relation are that these two Pokemon are basically exactly the same. They both share the same moveset, stats, and typing. In each of their evolution chains, they evolve from a Pokemon with lower stats, however, Kakuna and Metapod don't learn any damaging moves. I don't know why I put a silence here, because you probably should have known that before. Anyway, while Caterpie and Weedle are by no means powerful, they do have one ability their evolutions don't have: winning a battle. These Pokemon basically serve no purpose in their evolution lines except to maintain the theme of larvae to caterpillar to insect, and that's why they're on this list. Number 2, Hitmontop. Hitmontop is another pretty cool Pokemon that just gets ousted by its relatives, basically. Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, and Hitmonchan all evolve from Tyrogue under certain conditions, with Hitmontop and Tyrogue being added in the second generation and the others being introduced in the first. And with that, I could say that Hitmontop is basically a ripoff of Hitmonchan. And if Hitmonchan were in Gen 2 and Top in Gen 1, then it would basically be the other way around. But anyway, on to Hitmontop. He basically has the same stats as Hitmonchan, except for slightly altered attack and defense stats. Hitmontop has even attack and defense stats, contrary to Hitmonchan, which has a higher attack than defense. But that's only by a small amount. Otherwise, in terms of stats, these two Pokemon are identical. However, the thing that bolsters Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee ahead are their movesets. Hitmonchan can learn all the elemental punches, giving it an advantage against a bunch of Pokemon. Hitmonlee learns High Jump Kick, which is an extremely powerful move, only strengthened more by Hitmonlee's massive attack stat. And Hitmontop, well, it's basically all fighting type moves, the best of which being close combat, which is basically just an all-out pummeling, with little strategic advantage to using it. For that reason, I'd go with one of the others, probably. Number 1, Slowking. Ha! I got you. You probably thought I was going to say Slowbro, but instead I made the most epic plot twist in my channel's history. I actually went to this evolution line planning on putting Slowbro on this list, but through the power of studying and research, I changed it. So yeah. When compared with Slowbro, the stats are basically the same, and considering these two are a split evolution of Slowpoke, there's really nothing to complain about there, because if they're even, you could go basically either way at this point. However, Slowking takes much more effort to evolve, requiring that you find a King's Rock and be able to trade, meaning that you either need to get a second copy of the game with a second system, or find a friend who will actually be bothered to just doing that. And that is a hassle, because then they need to come over your house, then you gotta give them some water or snacks or something, and do something else to make the trip justified, and so on. The expenses add up. Aside from that, Slowbro has a Mega Evolution, while Slowking doesn't. That basically makes Slowking fall behind when you add those together, and thus I put it at number 1, for its deception in appearing like a more desirable Pokemon. But those are my picks. There are plenty of other questionable Pokemon out there though, so what do you think? What are some evolutions that just didn't really seem necessary? Please leave a comment down below. You can also subscribe to see videos like this twice a week. Regardless, my computer is almost out of storage from all of these videos, and I'll see you in the next video.